people told me Robbie would never make it. But if any man ever had a passion or love the sport, it's Robbie Sires.
Yeah.
And I knew with a little business training, which I could do, that Robbie would be successful at it, and he has been successful at it. He's been very good with it, and he's going to have a good year this year. We actually rebranded the Battle of the Bluegrass to to the Heart of America region, as we took in more of Ohio and more of Indiana.
That's right.
It just seemed like the right thing to do. So we rebranded it that way before it got any older. And Robbie's taken over that as well now, since DJ's in the corporate office. And they've done a good job. Then came along Rose Compton, Rose and Jeff for the Northeast. I knew a lot of the tracks there. Jeff raced with us when Fast Track was in that area. So we all knew each other. We put some feelers out about, a race director up there. And, man, Rose took right off with that deal. And she's done a great job with it. I think she's got 11 or 12 races this year, plus the bonus races that we have.
That's right. That's right.
We've paid out. I mean, the Ultimate alone is going to end up paying out almost $1 million in purse money this year.
And $500,000, if that, in Fast Track as well for pro late models this year on the national tour.
Yeah, I mean, so we're investing $1.5 million back into racing, plus our point funds.
That's right, Stan. I got a couple more questions with you. My producers are telling me we need to get Joe Shemp Small in on the line for the Hooters Pro Cup Series. We're going to talk to him next, but I got two more questions for you. I'll throw them out there at the same time. Question one: if you could go back and do it again, would you have patented Fast Track to not allow anybody else to steal your entity of what you've created? Or number two, why is dirt motorsports, asphalt motorsports struggling today? What is the positive and the negatives? And then we'll part ways with you this afternoon.
Would I have patented it? Yes. It's just been a good business move. Not a control thing, but just a business move, no doubt. The problem with asphalt and dirt racing both is we lost touch with our new fans. We became content with our current fans, and like me, I mean, they're actually getting older. And we're going to really have to work on some new fans and therefore our future Stars Cup. And we're going to have to grow entities that way, kind of in reverse of what we've done before. There is no more opening the gates at a racetrack and people just showing up. You got to get out there and work.
Yeah. And I'll agree with you on that, Stan. I think we might live in a day-to-day where special events might draw the crowds, yes, but you still got to promote the hell out of it. You just can't open up the gate and say, hey, 10,000 to win Super Late Model Race, be there. You've got to do the marketing, you got to do the PR, you got to do the promotions, you got to do radio, television, social media, everything now to spread the word, because if you don't, and it's so sad, Stan, because I even see it today, and I know you do as well. There's people that come to racetracks and they'll say, wow, I didn't even know this track existed. Man, track's been there for 30 years. Didn't even know it was there.
That alone should prove to people we're not doing a very good job with it. I see some tracks, the tracks that are the healthiest are the tracks that promote the hardest. It's just the bottom line. The tracks that don't promote at all are going out of business. So people can just figure out, what do you want to do? You want to get serious about it? Do some hard work? Keep this track healthy, keep it in business? Or are you here just to play and close the doors when you get ready?
That's right.
Me, I got money invested. I have to work hard.
That's right. Stan Lester, I'm going to let you get to it, man. I know you're at the office. Take care. Thank you for your time. Man, it flew by. But thank you for being on Finish Line, and hopefully a lot more people got a little bit more respect of what is Fast Track Companies International.
I thank you, Wesley. Appreciate it. And I will see you next weekend.
FastTrackRacing.com, UltimateSupers.com, and of course, if you ever want to send Stan Lester an email personally, SL@FastTrackRacing.com. Stan, thank you for your time, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your week.
He said it Wesley.
Stan Lester. Stan Lester of Fast Track Companies International. Again, fasttrackracing.com and ultimatesupers.com. The history of Fast Track, phenomenal. I know kind of the story. I've actually learned a lot more in this 46-minute conversation than what I've known before about what is Fast Track Companies International and what it is today. And I will tell you this in closing on this subject as we get Joe Schmaling on the line of the Super Cup Stock Car Series. I did not just book Stan Lester because I work for him. I want to throw that out there. I have the utmost respect of what he has done for pro late model racing. I want to throw that out there. I love all sanctioning bodies. I love all promoters. I love all racetracks. I love all racing. I try to get along with all of them until they, put you in a predicament where you have to, not associate with them anymore. And yes, that happens in racing. Whether you're a promoter, an official, announcer, driver, scorer, car owner, whatever. It happens. Sponsor, whatever. Sometimes you got to distance yourself away from people in this sport. But for the most part, I am a fan of racing first. This is my job second. If you're not a fan of what you're doing, why are you doing it? Doesn't matter what you're doing in life. Of course, again, Ultimate Series in action this weekend. Lawrence County Speedway, South Carolina. Friday night, Saturday night, Dixie Speedway, Woodstock, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. The Swims family, awesome group of people. UltimateSupers.com. The Fast Track Future Stars Cup, which is that new Young Gun Series Stan Lester was talking about, and the Fast Track Racing Series powered by Chevrolet Performance will be in action next Saturday at Volunteer Speedway. Also, the Ultimate Chew on This Jerky Mid-Ohio Valley Series cranks up for 2019 next Friday night at I-77 Raceway Park in Ripley, West Virginia. Follow their coverage. And, of course, if you can't, Speed 51 Network will also have you covered for those events.
This is Finish Line.
We're going to take a 30-second timeout. When we come back, we talk the history of the Hooters Pro Cup Series with Joe Schmaling. Don't go anywhere. This is Finish Line on Fox Sports Radio, Community Radio Network, iHeartRadio, Tuned In Radio, iTunes Radio, and Spreaker. And don't forget about Tuned In as well. A lot of ways to tune in to this podcast. Number 11, rockin' and rollin' since February. Joe Schmaling is with me next. Getting involved in the motorsports industry? Late models, helmets, modifieds, doesn't matter. Need to have a wrap job done? Then let All About Wraps take care of you. All About Wraps strives to offer our clients with fast, affordable service from go-karts to the national touring level and everything in between. Wraps on race cars, design services, and promotions. There's no job that they can't do to make your vehicle be on the cutting edge of looking great. Race wraps are starting at just $500. Contact All About Wraps today, and let's see what they can do for your racing team. Call them up at 410-903-3302 or send them an email at allaboutwraps@hotmail.com. All About Wraps.
Hello. CrateInsider.com is
Stand
your
by, Joe.
source for
We're on radio
racing
timeout.
tech and more.
All right.
Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
This is Chris Nunn from the Sling and Dirt Podcast and the announcer at Twin Cities Raceway Park in North Vernon, Indiana. And you're listening to The Finish Line with the hashtag king himself, Wesley Outland.
This is Finish Line.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. Wesley Outland back here with you, top of the hour. Great interview on the history of dirt racing. Fast Track Companies International with Stan Lester. Again, Fast Track Racing, UltimateSupers.com for more details. Now, looking forward to doing this interview. Kind of just sparked a conversation with this gentleman. One Thursday afternoon, as a matter of fact, heading to Virginia Motor Speedway. They will be in action in Virginia this upcoming Saturday in Spotsylvania, Virginia, exit 118 off I-95 at Dominion Raceway. Such a state-of-the-art facility. And he has took the concept that was the Hooters Pro Cup Series. I remember going to the Hooters Pro Cup Series back in the day, where it has evolved, the demise, the infrastructure of trying to make it survive. And yes, okay, the outline of what was the Pro Cup Series that Jack McNally done with making it into the Cars Tour, yes, he done his deal. And then he turned it into a facelift of no running supers and late model stocks. But what happened to the Pro Cup cars? What happened to the old ARCA race cars? What happened to the old NASCAR Busch Series or Nationwide cars? You think they're dormant? You think that they're growing weeds somewhere? Well, if you don't want to be complacent and you still want to race, this gentleman has made that possible, from turning what was a defunct, out-of-business Pro Cup Series into now being what is known as the Super Cup Stock Car Series. They get media attention on MAV TV and more. Joining us in Hickory, North Carolina is Joe Smalling. Joe, good afternoon. Welcome to Finish Line, sir.
Oh, thank you for having us, Wesley.
Was that an introduction, or was that an introduction for you?
That took my breath away.
So let's talk about, as being a former, look, 23-year broadcaster. When I was young, I worked with Gene Crane on several Hooters Pro Cup events. I worked with, Mr. Doug Rice at PRN. Met him when he was doing pit reporting for Speed Channel, or Stephen Cox, and seeing where Rick Benjamin, seeing where the Pro Cup Series was back in the day. What a phenomenal program it was. I seen it grow since a child or as a teenager to where it became, as being at one time, Joe, and you were a part of this as a technical official, maybe even one of the best things in racing that could even compete with NASCAR. At one time, the Pro Cup Series was at that level. It was at its heyday, and then everything just kind of demised, and it was after the passing of Dick Brooks. Talk about that.
Well, it's Bob Brooks, actually.
Bob Brooks, my apologies, yes.
In 2006.
Yes, go ahead.
And he had big plans for the Pro Cup Series. In short, my opinion is that the Pro Cup Series was the premier short track series that ever was. And it's just a shame that the way it ended. But when Mr. Brooks passed away in 2006, the Hooters empire changed over to the Sun. The Sun was not involved in racing. He didn't care much for it. And the sponsorship went away at the end of 2008. And we started in 2008, we started the Super Cup Series in 2008 for the cars that were left behind, like you said in the interview as you started this conversation about the Super Cup Series. Anyway, we started the series for the cars that were left behind, and we allowed the Busch cars and the older Cup cars and come on and race with us. So we take a lot from the Pro Cup Series and leave a lot of the Pro Cup Series behind. But basically, it's a stock car series, and it's geared around and based around cars that are no longer eligible to run anywhere, like you said
right
earlier. So this is what we set this up to do: give people a place to race that's affordable. We're not the Pro Cup Series. We're never going to be the Pro Cup Series. We don't have a multi-million-dollar Hooters restaurant chain. But we've done very well over the last 11 years. We're starting our 12th year this Saturday at Dominion Raceway. So we're pretty pleased that we've survived all of these years, prospered. We were able to add MAV TV to the program. You had mentioned Stephen Cox and Gene Crane. Gene Crane does my website for me and all my voice of the race, calling the race on MAV TV for us. Stephen Cox is the TV producer for us. So a lot of us are from the Pro Cup Series, and we claim to be from the Hooters Pro Cup Northern Division. Because when Jack and his group took it over in 2009, they